Welcome back. This is part two of our green story. Fernando wants to go over a little bit on installation, and then we'll dive right into some of the different terminologies you should know because you're going to be hearing them more and more often. So tell me about the installation and how we're green with that, Fernando.
Yeah, basically, as I had said before, there's basically four different areas that I mentioned that I think S&G can market ourselves as being green. And I think the fourth one is the installation side of things. We talked about where the materials come from, where they're manufactured, where they go when we're done with them, and then finally is when we're installing the product itself. We are doing things that are green. First and foremost is we're using glues that are less toxic. A perfect example is the Titebond glue we sell. We used to just sell the standard Titebond, but now we're selling the new Titebond, which is the Green Choice Titebond. And that is a product that has fewer VOCs, and they've used some different chemicals that still maintain the quality as far as keeping your glue down on the concrete, but is better for the environment. Another great example in the installation side of things that we're doing that are green is some of the products we sell don't even use glue now. You have your laminate floors, you have your hardwood click floors, you also have loose lay vinyls now.
Right.
And then finally, kind of a little catchphrase that I semi-invented is we have minimal spread adhesives that we're using quite a bit on the vinyl side of things, and vinyl we still sell quite a bit of. And that's the fact that we used to, spread a nice layer of glue and then we'd put the new vinyl into it wet. Now a lot of the new stuff we're doing, they're using rollers to roll on a super thin layer, or we're using some pressure sensitive adhesives that use such a thin trowel that it only takes, a few minutes for it to flash before we're going into it. So just by virtue that we're using less glue, I think you can consider us being green in that way.
And that category is actually going to be increasing. Just recently saw the new Armstrong products that are the glass or fiberglass backs, as well as Mannington. So right now we have the IVC floor with our S&G name on it, but you'll soon be seeing the Mannington and Armstrong following suit with that. So.
Excellent. Now I wanted to kind of go over some of those terms that we mentioned during our green explanation and kind of go a little in depth on them. Not a lot, but just enough so if a customer comes in and mentions one of those words, like it happened to me about a month ago, you're not caught off guard and we at least have a little bit of information to share with them so we can be the authority.
Okay.
The first one, VOC. What does VOC stand for? Volatile Organic Compounds. Basically, what's a volatile organic compound? As I said earlier, it's basically anything that is a material that's being installed of chemical origin, usually, that leaves a gas as it's drying or even after it's dry.
Okay.
Some are more harmful than others, but it's a very big issue right now, and it's something that, again, like I said, the carpeting industry has kind of been ahead of the game on, and we've done a great job with. To prove that point, did some research on it. The VOCs produced by the carpet industry have been reduced by 35% since 2003. So we've seen a huge reduction. And going above and beyond that, as I read more and more, floor covering itself is actually one of the lowest VOC emitting processes when you're doing either new construction or remodeling. You see a ton more of it in the painting side of things, and a lot of the different chemicals or the lacquers that they're using on cabinetry and stuff like that. So we're actually ahead of the game already just in the industry we're in, but we are also trying to go above and beyond. Just to give you kind of a feel of some of the products we sell and where they rate, carpet itself as well as tile would probably be considered some of the lowest emitters of VOC because there's really not a lot of glues involved in the installation. A lot of it is done during manufacturing and it's already completed. And then obviously our click products, as we talked about earlier, in the installation side of things. Anytime you're not using a glue, you're able to minimize some VOCs right there.
Okay.
Further, a little bit more is just the fact that, remember, just because something is a VOC, it doesn't always necessarily refer to the fact that it's necessarily harmful or as harmful as others might be.
It's a term that you really need to be familiar with. VOCs can come in new car smell. People love the new car smell.
Yeah.
Cigarette smoke. Probably one of the most popular VOCs is perfume, which people pay for that VOC. So it's kind of interesting, but something you just need to be aware of.
All right, the next one we're going to go over is the CRI Green Label products. Basically, CRI is the Carpet and Rug Institute. We're actually going to show you kind of an example of what the label is going to look like, and if you ever wanted to look for it, you'll notice all of the pads we sell are CRI Green Label certified. What is CRI Green Label? Basically, it was a program that was launched way back in 1992 the Carpet and Rug Institute set up a separate entity to independently test carpet, cushion, and adhesives to make sure we were doing everything we could to minimize the VOCs that were coming from the products we sell. I'm proud to say, after doing some more research, that every carpet manufacturer that S&G shows in our stores has CRI Green Label certified products. We know that the Gulistan products are entirely CRI Green Label Plus certified, and we just did earlier today, we kind of went through and looked through some of our books. Every book we went through was CRI certified, so we're not 100% sure if every product we sell is, but it looks that way.
We're pretty confident that the vast majority of them are.
You know, and why is the CRI important? It's just a good thing that we can mention to our customers that the carpet industry is very much self-governing. And way back in '92, we tried to be on the ball about this. Even though VOCs are just becoming an it word or an it topic now, we've been dealing with it since '92. And at this point, we feel pretty confident that, you know, we're doing our part to limit that. And that's thanks to the CRI and the which is the Carpet and Rug Institute.
Okay.
The next one we were going to hit on would be the Lacey Act. This will be quick, kind of a review. We talked about it a little bit when we did our hardwood training, but just kind of hit on it again. It was introduced in 1900. The big changes to it really happened in 2008, May 22nd of 2008. Basically what the amendment did was it made, it kind of spent more time focusing on the illegal deforestation of the forests across the world, and it made it illegal to bring those products that are being harvested illegally into the United States.
Exactly.
As I mentioned, we've always been a little bit ahead of the game. That was something Roger saw coming well before March 22nd or May 22nd of 2008. We were in compliance probably ahead of anyone else, but we've been in compliance ever since, and it just goes to show that, you know, we're doing our best to be green, as we talked about, and we're trying to minimize our impact negatively on the environment. And that's pretty much what the Lacey Act is. The big thing about it, and as they may have noticed, you don't see as much exotics now. And, you know, for better or worse, we don't have as much of that selection, but the reason why is because we're only going to sell products that we can stand behind and feel comfortable where they're coming from.
I know Kempis was a big seller for us 5-6 years ago, and now you can't even find a Kempis sample in any of the wood lines. And again, that's because you know, the tree is almost extinct, and they can't harvest it anymore. So you know, kudos to the world for getting behind it and saving some of the, you know, some of the trees that are on the endangered species list.
The next one, which we're just going to hit on really lightly because it's just starting to come into focus, is LEED points. What LEED stands for is Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design.
That's a mouthful, so say it one more time.
They're LEED points, and it stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. Okay. Basically, all it is it's a program nationwide that what they're trying to do is they're trying to promote green building. It's mainly in the commercial side of things. All they're trying to do is, as new buildings are being done or remodeled, they're basically trying to incentivize those builders into using products that would be more green than they may normally use. Maybe take the time to make sure things are better insulated, provide a better environment inside the building so that it's green in production and it's green on into the future, being that it'll use maybe less air conditioning and provide, you know, use less electricity, things of that nature.
Probably the most common example would be dual pane windows.
Exactly.
Every new building, any new home, all dual pane windows. Again, more environmentally friendly, less cost to heat and cool the building. So.
And it hasn't really hit too much on the residential side of things, but as it does, if it grows into residential, we'll definitely do this again and kind of talk about the impacts on that.
Okay. We have one more just to touch really quick before our next section, and that's the MSD, or the Material Safety Data Sheets, that are available from the different manufacturers if we need them. Okay, so that's something, if somebody comes in is very technical, very specific, and they wanted to see that, all the manufacturers that we do business with would have those available.
It doesn't really spend much more time on anything more than a spec sheet maybe does, just talks about a little bit more about the production of the product, but we just want to make sure if a person asks you, you're not caught dumbfounded, but you can be the leader and kind of explain what it is and let them know we can get it for them if they need it.
We're going to take a quick break, come back with our third segment with our own personal opinions and how S&G views the green movement.